Auntie Nita was famous in Shantivan apartment not for kindness, not for generosity, but for her eyes and ears, always open, always moving. She was the unofficial intelligence bureau of the building. Cheating husbands, stolen milk packets, secret affairs, nothing escaped her sharp attention. Her latest victory, catching Mrs. Chaya's daughter Rinky secretly romancing the young watchman behind the parking area. Nita spread the news like wildfire, and the poor watchman was kicked out the same evening. In her mind, Nita wasn't nosy. She was saving the society, one gossip at a time. When a new tenant arrived, Khusboo, 25-year-old, fair, slim, beautiful with shoulder length wavy hair, the entire building softened instantly. She was polite, quiet, and kept to herself. Mrs. Chaya, the neighbor from the next flat, welcomed her warmly. Beta, if you need anything, just knock. But Khusboo only nodded with a small smile. Nita's eyes narrowed. Quiet people were always suspicious to her, and the more quietly Khusboo behaved, the louder Nita's doubt became. Khushbu had been living in the building for barely 2 months, but she had already become a small mystery. She kept to herself, left early in the morning, returned late, paid her rent on time, and didn't talk much to anybody. The men in the building respected her. She dressed simply, carried school books, and spoke politely to the watchman and the lift boy. Word spread quietly that she was a school teacher. Some even said she taught underprivileged children for free. But the woman found her odd. Not rude, just closed. No extra smiles, no chit chat at the gate, no attending social meetings. And most importantly, she never entertained Neeta auntie. And Neeta hated that. She tried everything casual talks, question disguised as compliment, and even pretending to bring leftover laddus. But Khusbu ignored her every time. Once she even said sharply, "Please mind your own business." For a moment, Neeta froze. Nobody had ever spoken to her like that before. And that was when Neeta made her decision. She had to find out what this woman was hiding. One night, while passing by Khusbu's apartment, Neeta pressed her ear to the door. Inside, Khusbu was on a call, pacing anxiously. Neeta heard only this part. "Yes, he's a married man. I like him. I really do." Neeta froze. Her eyes widened. Khusbu continued, but Nita didn't hear the rest. She had already tiptoed away to spread the breaking news. What Khusbu actually said was, "Yes, he's a married man. I like him for the campaign. He can be the best face for the anti abuse awareness program." But Nita heard only the scandalous part. She ran back home, opened the building's woman group chat, and typed, "Careful, my lovely ladies. We were right. The new girl is not what she pretends to be. She's talking to a married man. Be aware. Keep your husband safe." Chat exploded. Shock, excitement. The women felt like they were watching a live soap opera. And by evening, the story was Khusbu is having an affair with a married man. This is why she's hiding her personal life. The next morning, Khusbu knocked on Mrs. Chaya's door. "Ma'am, can I charge my phone here? My flat's electricity has gone since morning." Chaya stiffened for a second. Then she forced a casual smile. Ah, mm, there's no light here either, dear." And right at that moment, Rinky's hairdryer roared from inside the house. All three of them froze. Khusbu's brows slowly lifted in confusion. Chaya's face turned pale. She quickly blocked the view with her body and said, too cheerfully, "Oh, that must be some leftover noise from last night's trip. Actually, we were just leaving." Before Khusbu could say anything, Chaya shut the door in a rush. Inside, she spun around and glared at her daughter. "Rinky, why on earth did you have to blow dry your hair right now?" Rinky shrugged, unapologetic. "I forgot." Chaya sighed dramatically, dropping her forehead. Outside, Khusbu stood in silence for a few seconds, confused, hurt. A few days later, the building committee organized their annual celebration. Everyone was invited, including Khusbu. When she came downstairs in a simple pastel dress and smiled at the ladies, something odd happened. Some woman looked away, some pulled their husband closer, some whispered behind her back. The warmth she felt on her first day had vanished. Khusbu felt a tightness in her chest and turned to leave. When she heard, "Didn't find any suitable married men here?" Nita's voice cut through the air like a knife. Khusboo turned slowly, eyes sharp. Nita smirked. "What to do? Women here are protective about their husbands. You must understand. Though it must be hard for you." A few ladies gasped. Khusboo stepped closer, her voice calm but thunderous. "Have you lost your mind?" Everyone froze. "How dare you speak like this to another woman? Is this how you make yourself feel powerful? By dragging others down? I've heard a lot about you, Auntie. Don't try your childish tactics on me." Nita's face burned red. She wanted to shout back, but had no proof. The woman stared, shocked, amazed, secretly impressed. And, and walking away, Khusbu didn't look back even once. Rinky smiled to herself. Finally, someone shot Auntie Nita up. From that day, the silent war began. Nita doubled her efforts. One afternoon, while climbing down the stairs, she saw an electricity bill stuck in Khusbu's door. She grabbed it and froze. It wasn't addressed to Khusbu Sharma. It said Kritika Sharma. Different name, different identity. "Got you," Nita whispered. That evening, she searched Kritika Sharma on Facebook. There she was. Same face, same hair, old photos. And in one of the pictures stood a handsome man, his arms around Kritika. Arman, her husband. Nita's heart raced. She messaged him instantly using a fake account. "Do you know Kritika?" Arman replied instantly. "Where is she? She ran away with all my jewelry, all my money. I've been searching for her for months." Nita's breath caught. A husband from another state. A runaway wife. A secret no one in the building knew. Her mind buzzed with excitement. She typed back quickly, almost eagerly. "She's here, in our building. I'll send you the full address." Armand read it, then replied, "I'll come tomorrow evening. It's a long journey from my city. Please, don't tell anyone." Nita felt a strange thrill, like she was the hero of a big reveal, like she was about to save the entire society from a dangerous woman. She opened the ladies' WhatsApp group and typed, "Be ready, everyone. Tomorrow evening, her real face will finally come out." Shock emojis, curious questions, excited replies. Nita felt important again, felt seen, felt like the guardian she believed she was. That evening, Nita kept peeping from her window like a restless bird. Her heart thudded with excitement when she finally saw him. Arman, tall, tense, carrying a small bag. He looked around once, then headed straight into Khusbu's building entrance. Nita's eyes gleamed. Showtime. She hurried downstairs, her slippers slapping the steps. She stopped just outside Khusbu's door, pretending to fix the potted plant placed in the corridor while pressing her ear against the wall. Inside, the voices rose sharply. A man's angry growl, a woman's trembling fear. "Why did you leave me? Stay away from me!" Nita's lips curled into a smug smile. So she was hiding something. But then, a sudden crash, a scream that sliced through the corridor. Nita froze. Before she could process it, a heavy thud echoed from the compound below. Her blood turned cold. She ran to the window at the end of the corridor, looked down, and her heart stopped. Khusbu was lying on the ground of the building, her body twisted, blood spreading beneath her like a dark hollow. Nita's breath left her chest. Hands trembling, she backed away. Just as Armand burst out of the apartment, face wild, breath ragged, he pushed past Nita so hard she stumbled. "Move!" He sprinted down the stairs, but the building guards, already rushing up after hearing the scream, grabbed him before he could escape. People gathered. Someone shouted. Someone cried. The chaos swallowed everything. And as they dragged Arman away, Nita stood frozen, her heart pounding with one terrifying thought. She had invited this monster here, and she had no way to undo it. The police arrived within minutes. Arman was handcuffed and dragged away, still shouting her name. The ambulance took Khusbu, her body barely moving, her face pale and bruised. The entire building gathered in the compound, whispering, trembling, shaken. By the time the police finished questioning, the truth had spread. Armand wasn't her lover. He was her abusive ex husband, and Khusboo had been hiding from him for months. People who had judged her, avoided her, talked behind her back, now stood with guilt in their eyes. She survived, but the injuries are serious, one of the guards murmured. A wave of pity washed over the crowd. Women who ignored her suddenly whispered prayers. Men who once admired her quiet nature now looked ashamed. But one question hung in the air like smoke. How did Armand know where she lived? The murmur grew louder. People exchanged confused looks. Neeta stood in corner, desperately pretending to be concerned, her hands shaking slightly. And then Rinky stepped forward. Rinky stepped forward. Everyone listen! Her voice sharp, trembling with anger yet steady enough to cut through the crowd. All heads turned. Rinky faced the society with blazing eyes. If there is anyone responsible for what happened to Khusboo, other than that monster, she pointed towards the gate where Arman had been taken. It's us! People shifted uncomfortably. Rinky continued, her voice rising. We bullied her, judged her, treated her like a problem without knowing her truth. And someone in the society, someone here, told that man where she lived. Gasped, nervous whispers. Her father frowned. What are you saying, Rinky? She turned towards him. Dad, you saw how everyone treated her, especially the woman. But one person, she looked around the crowd, one person did worse than gossip. Her eyes slowly drifted to Neeta. Neeta looked up sharply, her face tight. Rinky took a step closer, her voice colder now. Aren't you guilty, Mrs. Neeta? Neeta scoffed loudly. Why? Why would I be guilty? I did everything for the society. She deserves it. She fooled everyone. I only told her husband where she lived. She stopped. Too late. A stunned silence fell across the building. Mouths fell open. Chaya covered her mouth. Men stared in disbelief. Women stepped back as if Neeta had turned into something monstrous. Neeta blinked, realizing what she had just admitted out loud. Rinky slowly lifted her phone. Thank you for confessing. Neeta's eyes widened. Before she could speak, Rinky dialed 100. Hello, I want to report the person responsible for Khusboo's attempted murder. Neeta stepped back, her voice cracking. Rinky, you misunderstood. I didn't mean. But nobody listened. Mrs. Chaya stepped back, stunned. You gave an abusive man her address? Whispers erupted instantly. This is beyond gossip. This is dangerous. The men looked furious. Rinky's father shook his head, voice low and pained. We thought you were protecting the society. You put every woman here at risk. Nita's lip trembled. I I didn't know. I thought she was cheating. No, Chaya cut her off sharply. You didn't think. You wanted drama. Nita felt the floor slip from under her as people she had bossed around for years now stepped away from her, refusing even to stand near her. And then the police jeep arrived. Everyone moved aside. Mrs. Nita, an officer said, we need you to come with us. Nita looked around helplessly. The same society she once ruled was watching her like a criminal. The handcuffs clicked. Gasps filled the air. As she was led away, Rinky whispered, this time you ruined the wrong woman's life. Nita lowered her head. Her empire of gossip collapsed in a single evening.